Welcome back. Today we are going to proceed from where we left. That is Genesis chapter 46. We're going to go all the way to 47, 48, 49, up to Genesis chapter 50. We'll see the death of Joseph. Let's proceed. Genesis chapter 46, verse 1. And Israel took his journey with all that he had, and came to Beersheba, and offered sacrifices unto the God of his father Isaac. Very important. Now Israel took his journey, not Jacob. Israel. Now he's going where? To Beersheba. To do what? To offer sacrifices. To who? To God. He has found his true north, if you may. Verse 2. And God spake unto Israel in the visions of the night, and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, Here am I. It is always beautiful the way God chooses to speak to someone, and more so the way the person being spoken to decides to be obedient. And all the feedback you see, or all the responses you get is, Here am I. So when God calls you or speaks to you, the first thing you should say is, Here am I. Not excuses like in the case of Jonah. Verse 3. And he said, I am God, the God of thy father. Fear not to go down into Egypt, for I will there make of thee a great nation. Now he's getting direction. Israel is choosing to be wise, to make his ways be ordained by God. He's getting direction. Okay. I will go down with thee into Egypt, and I will also surely bring thee up again. And Joseph shall put his hand upon thine eyes. This is a very important verse. Let's just look at it. Verse 4. I will go down with thee into Egypt. I will go down with thee into Egypt, and I will also surely bring thee up again. I will take you to Egypt, and I will take you back again. I will go down with you to Egypt, and I will take you out of Egypt. And most importantly is this verse section. And I will also surely bring thee up again, and Joseph shall put his hand upon thine eyes. He will be buried by his son. So he will live to see his son, and he will accomplish his most heartfelt desires. And this is something that is written on Genesis chapter 45, verse 28. And Israel said, It is enough. Joseph, my son, is yet alive. I will go and see him before I die. So, in Genesis chapter 46, verse 4, that promise serves that other verse. Verse 5 of Genesis chapter 46. And Jacob rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried Jacob their father, and their little ones, and their wives in the wagons which Pharaoh had sent carrying him. Jacob. Now, you'll see the way it's being interchanged here. Jacob, Israel, Jacob, Israel, Jacob, Israel, Jacob, Israel. All right. It's very interesting. And now, it's also important because he's carrying his own nation, his own community, and he's migrating. So before you make such big moves, where you're carrying the whole, so inquire of God. That's the lesson you get here. Inquire of God first before you make such moves. It's very important. Verse 6. And they took their cattle and their goods which they had gotten in the land of Canaan, and came into Egypt, Jacob and all his seed with him, his sons and his sons' sons with him, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his seed brought he with him into Egypt. Right? Let's look at verse 8. And these are the names of the children of Israel which came into Egypt, Jacob and his sons. The colon there. Say Reuben, Jacob's first son, And the sons of Reuben, Hanok, and Phalu, and Hezron, and Carmi. Verse 10, and the sons of Simeon, Jemuel, and Jamin, and Ohad, and Jachin, and Zohar, and Shaul, the son of Canaanitish woman. Verse 11, and the sons of Levi, Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. These people who are the sons of will bring very interesting, will be very interesting when you're looking at the life, or when you look at the book of Exodus. Deuteronomy, Numbers there. Very interesting people. Verse 12, and the sons of Judah, Er and Onan, and Shelah, and Pharez, and Zerah. But Er and Onan died in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Pharez were Hezron and Hamul. Verse 13, and the sons of Issachar, Tola, and Fuva, and Job, and Shimron. Verse 14, and the sons of Zebulun, Sered, and Elon, and Jalil. Verse 15, these be the sons of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob in Padanaram, with his daughter Dinah. All the souls of his sons and his daughters were 33. And the sons of Gad, Ziphion, and Haggai, Shuni, and Isbon, Eri, and Arodi, and Areli. Verse 17, and the sons of Asher, Jimnah, and Ishua, and Isui, and Beriah, and Serah, their sister. And the sons of Beriah, Heba, and Malchiel. Verse 18, these are the sons of Zilpah, whom Laban gave to Leah his daughter, and this she bare unto Jacob, even 16 souls in total. Verse 19, the sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife, Joseph and Benjamin. And unto Joseph in the land of Egypt were born Manasseh and Ephraim, which Asenath, the daughter of Potipherah, priest of On, bare unto him. And the sons of Benjamin were Bela, and Becher, and Ashbel, Gera, and Naaman, Ehi, and Rosh, Mupim, and Hupim, and Ard. Verse 22, these are the sons of Rachel, which were born to Jacob. All the souls were 14. And the sons of Dan, Hushim, and the sons of Naphtali, Jazil, and Guni, and Jezer, and Shilem. 25, these are the sons of, verse 25, these are the sons of Bilhah, which Laban gave unto Rachel, his daughter, and she bare this unto Jacob. All the souls were 7. Verse 26, all the souls that came with Jacob into Egypt, which came out of his loins, besides Jacob's sons' wives, all the souls were 66. Verse 27, and the sons of Joseph, which were born in Egypt, were 2 souls. All the souls of the house of Jacob, which came into Egypt, were 10. All right. So, just to mention, some chapters and some books of the Bible vary in terms of the numbers, the total numbers. You'll get 71, 70, 66, 75. It all depends on how the thing was written in terms of scripts, and combining all that will have such, debating. But all in all, the souls are like that. Okay, look at verse 28. And he sent Judah before him unto Joseph to direct his face unto Goshen, and they came into the land of Goshen. So Judah here is now chosen as a diplomatic individual to go and get direction. Just like the way a whole ship or a whole plane lands or docks respectively, and then you have that smaller ship, or the smaller individuals who come, and get directions, or the watchtower, So Judah here is being chosen to go and get direction and authority diplomatically, so that they can turn their way to Goshen. It's foreign land, so they have to get that kind of authority. All right, let's look at verse 29. And Joseph made ready his chariot, and went up to meet Israel his father, to Goshen, and presented himself unto him, and he fell on his neck, and wept on his neck a good while. It's been a long time. very emotional again, as we said in the past video, and he's finally seeing his father for the first time in a long time. And this is a very happy moment, and it's just diplomatic, it's beautiful, Verse 30, and Israel said unto Joseph, now let me die, since I have seen thy face, because thou art yet alive. Israel will still live a couple of years. Because why? Yes, see, there's love that has been rekindled here. And love is a lot of years. Love is a lot of years. Love is a lot of years. Ask Jacob, waiting for Rachel. Love is a lot of years. And love has brought this man a couple of more of the same. Verse 31, and Joseph said unto his brethren and unto his father's house, I will go up and show Pharaoh and say unto him, my brethren and my father's house which were in the land of Canaan are come unto me. And the men are shepherds, for their trade hath been to feed cattle, and they have brought their flocks and their herds and all that they have. And it shall come to pass when Pharaoh shall call you, and shall say, what is your occupation? That he shall say, thy servant's trade hath been about cattle from your youth even until now. Both we and also our fathers, that ye may dwell in the land of Goshen, for every shepherd is an abomination unto the Egyptians. So, let me continue Genesis chapter 47. Then Joseph came and told Pharaoh and said, my father and my brethren and their flocks and their herds and all that they have are come out of the land of Canaan, and behold, they are in the land of Goshen. And he took some of his brethren, even 5 men, and presented them unto Pharaoh. So Joseph here is playing another game of wisdom. He has prepped 5 of his brethren and given them a script what to tell Pharaoh, so that when they go, they don't talk much. So he's given them answers to questions which will be asked. Alright? Peradventure they mess up, if I may use the word from the text. So now that is what is happening here. And Joseph is carrying 5 of the brothers, so that he decided not to carry the whole clan or all the representatives, 10 plus, because they want to remain humble, and they've chosen this the very selective words of herds, because to make them a distinction between the Egyptian and the Hebrews. That way they can qualify to be taken to Goshen without any questions, without any jealousy from politicians per se. Anyway, let's proceed. So, and he took verse 2, and he took Genesis chapter 47 verse 2, and he took some of his brethren, even 5 men, and presented them unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto his brethren, what is your occupation? And they said unto Pharaoh, thy servants are shepherds, both we and also our father. They said moreover unto Pharaoh, for to sojourn in the land are we come, for thy servants have no pasture for their flocks, for the famine is sore in the land of Canaan. Now therefore we pray thee, let thy servants dwell in the land of Goshen. And Pharaoh spake unto Joseph, saying, thy father and thy brethren are come unto thee, and the land of Egypt is before thee. In the best of the land make thy father and brethren to dwell in the land of Goshen. Let them dwell. And if thou knowest any men of activity among them, then make them rulers over my cattle. So he's now also picking just to see whom can also work, the wisdom of cattle to the vast substance of Pharaoh. So Pharaoh is also getting something out of it, also putting them to mark so that they don't, they can fit in the community, contributing as well to the same. Verse 7, and Joseph brought in Jacob his father and set him before Pharaoh, and Jacob blessed Pharaoh. Jacob did what? Jacob blessed Pharaoh. Pharaoh received a blessing from Jacob. This is very powerful. It's very powerful. And I am very sure that Pharaoh did partake of this blessing all the rest of his lives. Because we have no records of wars, past this until Exodus. If we may, we don't know. There's no record written here, maybe archaeologically or historically, but I believe that Pharaoh reaped of these blessings. Verse 8, and Pharaoh said unto Jacob, how old art thou? You see now, Pharaoh is a king, is very powerful, but is older than Joseph probably, but younger than Jacob. But here he's looking at Jacob, still alive, past, with a lot of years. It's about 100, over 100, And Pharaoh is quite astonished by how long Jacob has lived. When you have everything on earth, the only thing you would wish for is more time. So Pharaoh appears to be marveled by this time. So if only he can get as much time as Jacob to be ruler over this land. Fortunately, money cannot buy time. Only God can add you more time. When we look at the books of Chronicles and Kings, we'll see much of that scenario there. Let's go ahead. And Jacob said unto Pharaoh, the days of the years of my pilgrimage are 130 years. There, few and evil have the days of the years of my life been, and have not attained unto the days of the years of the life of my fathers, in the days of their pilgrimage, where Abraham is 175 and Isaac 180. Verse 10 of Genesis chapter 47, and Jacob blessed Pharaoh and went out from before Pharaoh. It's the only thing that is recorded of that discussion. Time. Verse 11, and Joseph blessed his father and his brethren and gave them a possession in the land of Egypt, in the best of the land, in the land of Manasseh, as Pharaoh had commanded. And Joseph nourished his father and his brethren and all his father's household with bread according to their families. And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they bought, and Joseph brought the money unto Pharaoh's house. Loyalty. And when money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, give us bread, for why should we die in the presence, for the money faileth? And Joseph said, give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle if money fail. Wisdom here and leadership. And they brought their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses and for the flocks and for the cattle of the herds and for the asses, and he fed them with bread for all their cattle for that year. You see this game being played by Joseph. Many leaders now are looking for these solutions for their country. How to maneuver through the shortest elective period, between elections and the next, that period, between the tenure, how to maneuver the economies between the shortest tenure without getting old and giving solutions so you can be elected. But they forget that all this wisdom is gotten from God. Because if you don't walk with God, then you will always make those wrong moves, which will then write you off politically. Verse 18, when that year was ended, they came unto him the second year, and said unto him, we will not hide it from my lord, how that our money is spent. My lord also hath our herds of cattle. There is not aught left in the sight of my lord, but our bodies and our lands. Wherefore shall we die before thine eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for bread, and we and our land will be your servants unto Pharaoh, and give us seed, that we may live and not die, that the land be not desolate. And Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh, for the Egyptians sold every man his field, because the famine prevailed over them. So the land became Pharaoh's, all of it. And as for the people, he removed them to cities from one end of the borders of Egypt even to the other end thereof. So Pharaoh owned all the land. And these systems might have trickled till to date, tax-wise, somehow, right? And as for the people, he removed them to the cities from one end of the borders of Egypt even to the other end thereof. Verse 22, and only the land of the priest bought he not, for the priests had a portion assigned to them of Pharaoh, and did eat their portion which Pharaoh gave them, wherefore they sold not their lands. Quite similar activity when you see the partitioning of the descendants of, or rather the Israel as a whole, where they are getting inheritance from all the spoils of Canaan. Like verse 23, then Joseph said unto the people, behold, I have bought you this day and your land for Pharaoh. Lo, here is seed for you, and ye shall sow the land. And it shall come to pass in the increase that ye shall give the fifth part unto Pharaoh, and 4 parts shall be your own, for seed of the field, and for your food, and for them of your households, and for food of your little ones. And they said, thou hast saved our lives. Let us find grace in the sight of my Lord, and we will be Pharaoh's servants. And Joseph, now begin to sing where it all starts. And Joseph, and the funny thing is that verse 25 kind of takes me to, the book of Samuel, where Samuel, the people of Israel are negotiating with Samuel to get a king, and then Samuel is here telling them what they want, what the king would do to their property and their children, and they would not listen. Yeah, we'll get to that. Verse 26, and Joseph made it a law. We are continuing Genesis chapter 47, verse 26. And Joseph made it a law over the land of Egypt unto this day, that Pharaoh should have the 5th part, except the land of the priest only, which became not Pharaoh's. Verse 27, and Israel dwelt in the land of Egypt, in the country of Goshen, and they had possessions wherein, and grew and multiplied exceedingly. And Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years, so the whole age of Jacob was 147 years. And the time drew nigh that Israel must die, and he called his son Joseph, and said unto him, if now I found favor under thy sight, grace in thy sight, put, I pray thee, thy hand under thy thigh, and deal kindly truly with me, bury me not, I pray thee, in Egypt. So there's an agreement here, it's a sort of covenant, and the closeness and how seriousness of it, similar to that of Abraham and the servant. Okay? It's very beautiful. So let's proceed. But I will lie with my fathers, verse 30, but I will lie with my fathers, and thou shalt carry me out of Egypt, and bury me in their burying place. And he said, I will do as thou hast said. And he said, swear unto me, and he sware unto him, and Israel bowed himself upon the bed's head. Now he's back on the bed, he's ready to give up the ghost. But Genesis chapter 48. And it came to pass after these things that one told Joseph, behold, thy father is sick. And he took with him his 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. And one told Jacob, and said, behold, thy son Joseph cometh unto thee. And Israel strengthened himself, and sat upon the bed. And Jacob said unto Joseph, God Almighty appeared unto me at Luz in the land of Canaan, and blessed me. Luz being Bethel. Okay. And said unto me, behold, I will make thee fruitful, and multiply thee, and I will make of thee a multitude of people, and will give this land to thy seed after thee for an everlasting possession. Verse 5, and now thy 2 sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, which were born unto thee in the land of Egypt before I came unto thee into Egypt, are mine. As Reuben and Simeon, they shall be mine. This is where the half tribe is being added here, right? And thy issue which thou begettest after them shall be thine, and shall be called after thy name, after their brethren in the in their inheritance. All right. Any other sons born to Joseph will be recorded under the names of their older brothers, and the inheritance will be split with the sons of Ephraim and Manasseh. That's the commentary from the text. But that's the basic explanation, is that these two belong now to Jacob or Israel per se. Then any other that is born will be now under Joseph. And verse 7, and as for me, when I came from Padan, Rachel died by me in the land of Canaan, in the way when yet there was but a little way to come unto Ephrath. And I buried her there in the way of Ephrath, the same is Bethlehem. And Israel beheld Joseph's sons, and said, Who are these? And Joseph said unto his father, They are my sons, whom God hath given me in this place. And he said, Bring them, I pray thee, unto me, and I will bless them. Verse 10, Now the eyes of Israel were dim for age, so that he could not see, and he brought them near unto him, and he kissed them, and embraced them. Note about the eyes, And Israel said unto Joseph, I had not thought to see thy face, and lo, God hath showed me also thy seed. The eyes are now open. And Israel said unto Joseph, I had not thought to see thy face, and lo, God hath showed me also thy seed. So now, the eyes of Israel are opening, physically, prophetically. Courtesy of God. May your eyes open. Verse 12, and Joseph brought them out from between his knees, and he bowed himself with his face to the earth. This is humility, given that he's a whole prime minister. And Joseph took them both, Ephraim and in his right hand towards Israel's left hand, and Manasseh in his left hand toward Israel's right hand, and brought them near unto him. And Israel stretched out his right hand, and laid it upon Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand upon Manasseh's head, guiding his hands wittingly, for Manasseh was the firstborn. And he blessed Joseph and said, God, before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac did walk, the God which fed me all my life long unto this day, the angel which redeemed me from all evil, bless the lads, and let my name be named on them, and the name of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. May this be your portion. And when Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim, it displeased him, and he held up his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head unto Manasseh's head. Joseph didn't know that his father can see. And Joseph said unto his father, Not so, my father, for this is the firstborn. Put thy right hand upon his head. And his father refused and said, I know it, my son, I know it. He also shall become a people, and he also shall be great. But truly his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his seed shall become a multitude of nations. And he blessed them that day, saying, In thee shall Israel bless, saying, God make thee as Ephraim and as Manasseh, and he set Ephraim before Manasseh. Even parts of the north of Israel would be called Ephraim because of this blessing. And Israel said unto Joseph, Behold, I die, but God shall be with you and bring you again unto the land of your fathers. The promise. Now, these words are very powerful, because they are as powerful as the words of Isaac that blessed Jacob on his way to Padan Aram, to Laban's. Moreover, verse 22, Moreover, I have given to thee one portion above thy brethren, which I took out of the hand of the Amorite with my sword, with my bow. Joseph has received a rightful inheritance. Now, look at it before we go to Genesis chapter 49. Very interesting scenario here in this chapter 48. Joseph is deciding to go to Jacob. He's still Hebrew in the spirit. He has decided to do things the Hebrew way. And he has decided to bring up the children in the way of the God of his fathers. So, the children technically are not Egyptian by spirit, but maybe by passport or by citizenship they are. So wherever you go, never you forego or forget your God, no matter where you are. It's very important to remember that. The other thing is that you see here Ephraim, who is the last one, it's like, how can I say it? It's like fixing what had happened between Jacob and Esau. Is it? Right? Is it really? Okay. But it's the will of God that this had to happen like that. But if you look at it like that, you understand? It's like doing it the right way, so that the younger would not betray the older. So it's like sort of fixing it the way it should have been before. So it's continuing that and laying that as a foundation, per se. Okay, but also it's very interesting because these are the first lads to be blessed by Jacob. So they have taken the birthright of Reuben. Why? Because Reuben did the unthinkable by defiling the bed of his father with Bilhah. Okay, so that's that. And these two have received so much blessings than the actual children. It's very, very interesting and unfortunate because the birthrights are being passed. That's very interesting. But now the descendants of all these people will be now present during the Exodus, and none of the only line that can be traced that bears the Spirit of God would be the line of Levi. Now that will be under Moses. Let's look at Genesis chapter 49. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Now it's written Jacob, but Paul says now it's Jacob Israel, because now he's now dying and he has to say something very prophetic. Jacob knows, he knows what will happen. Very important, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. So he knows, he's now operating the prophetic. Gather yourselves together and hear ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. Sons of Jacob, hearken unto Israel your father. I like the way they're interchanging this text. Verse 3, and Reuben, so it starts, let's start with Reuben. Verse 3, Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. Verse 4, unstable as water, thou shalt not excel. It's been cut. Because thou wentest up thy father's bed, then defiledst thou it. He went up to my couch. So Reuben will never excel. But we'll see something there. Verse 5, Simeon and Levi are brethren, instruments of cruelty, are in the habitation, and they are in their habitations. O my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembly. Mine honor, be not thou united, for in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dig down a wall. Cast be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob, and scatter them in Israel. This way you will see a lot of this in the books of Joshua, like that. There'll be a lot of division here for this, like technically speaking. Levi got divided. Now is a priest. Simeon is another story, as you'll see. Verse 8, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. And that's what I mean from the commentary here. You'll see something interesting. Simeon's land allotment was shared with Judah, and the Levites were never given a region to call their own. They had to live in other tribes' cities. These are recordings in Joshua between 19 and 14. So you can see what happened to both Simeon and Levi. Verse 8, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? As the Lion of Judah. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. First time is very important because it kind of hints. About the Messiah. It kind of hints about the King of Kings. Kinds of hints about Jesus Christ. Hence being called the Lion of Judah. Verse 11, binding his foal unto the vine and his asses colt, which are donkeys, unto the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine and his clothes in the blood of grapes. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for an haven of ships, and his border shall be unto Zidon. Self-explanatory. Issachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens, donkey. And he saw that the rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute. Okay. Verse 16, Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Okay, let me just say something about, there's a lot of research in the commentaries, so why not? When the tribe of Issachar, they would suffer a lot, they will be really servants in the fall of Israel, if I may. Okay, but when we reach there, then you'll see what happens to these tribes. Okay, so we can still proceed like that. Verse 16, Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan shall be a serpent by the way, an adder in the path that beateth the horse's heel, so that his rider shall fall backward. I have waited for thy salvation, O Lord. Verse 18, I have waited for thy salvation, O Lord. It's like the pause that you say, thank you, God, like, oh God, it's near, the time is near. And this Jacob is already proceeding, so quickly. Verse 19, God a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. Out of Asher his bread shall be fat, and he shall yield royal dainties. Verse 21, Naphtali is a hind let loose, he giveth goodly words. Verse 22, Joseph is a fruitful bough, even a fruitful bough by a well, whose branches run over the wall. The archers have sorely grieved him, and shot at him, and hated him. But his bow abided in strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty God of Jacob. From thence is the shepherd, the stone of Israel. Even by the God of thy father who shall help thee, and by the Almighty who shall bless thee with blessings of heaven above, blessings of the deep that lieth under, blessings of the breast and of the womb. The blessings of thy father have prevailed above the blessings of my progenitors. And to the utmost bound of the everlasting hills they shall be on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of him that was separate from his brethren. Verse 27, Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil. All these are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is it that their father spake unto them and blessed them. Every one according to his blessing he blessed them. Verse 29, and he charged them and said unto them, I am to be gathered unto my people. Bury me with my fathers in the cave that is in the field of Ephraim the Hittite, in the cave that is in the field of Machpelah, which is before Mamre in the land of Canaan, which Abraham bought with the field of Ephraim the Hittite for possession of a burying place. There they buried Abraham and Sarah his wife. There they buried Isaac and Rebekah his wife, and there they buried Leah. The purchase of the field and of the cave that is therein was from the children of Heth. Verse 33, and when Jacob had made an end of commanding his son, he gathered up his feet into the bed, and yielded up the ghost, and was gathered unto his people. Now, that is the end of Jacob, and the beginning of the people of Israel, a nation, per se. And this is the foundation. This will determine how the world will move. They have already played their game, and their fates are sealed like that until now when Jesus Christ comes. Because now this is it's like a blueprint for the whole text until the New Testament, even beyond to some extent, because the only people now will change is people will believe in Jesus Christ. Genesis chapter 50 and Joseph. So we don't want to dwell much into these blessings, and because I want them to be seen as we comb through the text. Genesis chapter 50, and Joseph fell upon his father's face and wept upon him and kissed him. He was just there. And Joseph commanded his servants, the physicians, to embalm his father, and the physicians embalmed Israel. Physicians, not priests, because he was still Hebrew. And 40 days were fulfilled for him, for so are fulfilled the days of those which are embalmed. And the Egyptians mourned for him 10 days. They had to preserve this body because normally Hebrews bury the same day. So yeah, but technically speaking, Joseph was still Egyptian, a ruler. So yeah, so Joseph's request for Pharaoh. Let's look at verse 4. And when the days of his mourning were past, Joseph spake unto the house of Pharaoh, saying, If now I have found grace in your eyes, speak, I pray you, in the ears of Pharaoh, saying. Now he's doing this because now 7 years have passed and things are becoming normal, and he's keeping the distance because of respect. And there's not much influence in terms of Joseph anymore, if we may, because things are now okay, Verse 5, My father made me swear, saying, Lo, I die. In my grave which I have digged for me in the land of Canaan, there shalt thou bury me. Now therefore let me go up, I pray thee, and bury my father, and I will come again. Verse 6, And Pharaoh said, Go up and bury thy father according as he made thee swear. Verse 7, And Joseph went up to bury his father, and with him went up all the servants of Pharaoh, the elders of his house, and all the elders of the land of Egypt, and all the house of Joseph and his brethren and his father's house, only their little ones and their flocks and their house they left in the land of Goshen. And there went up with him both chariots and horsemen, and it was a very great company. It's a lot of trust from Pharaoh. It's like it's a holiday. It's like everything is shut down for this event. All the leaders. It's a national event, Verse 10, And they came to the threshing floor of Atad, which is beyond Jordan, and there they mourned with a great and very sore lamentation. And he made a mourning for his father 7 days, And when the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, saw the mourning in the floor of Atad, they said, "This is a grievous mourning to the Egyptians." Wherefore, the name of it was called Abel Mizraim, which is beyond Jordan. This name is very interesting. It's not written in the commentaries, but I find it very interesting because when I look at the word Abel Mizraim, I see the word Abel, then there's Mizraim, which resemble the Arabic Misr or Swahili Misri. And then Aim or Im. It's quite interesting because there is an association of Abel where Cain killed Abel. Is it so? Because now that is a representation of death and crying. Then this other one, Misri, is Egypt. And then Im, the place. It's very interesting. I'd like to hear your comments about this. Verse 12, and his sons did unto him according as he commanded them. For his sons carried him into the land of Canaan, and buried him in the cave of the field of Machpelah, which Abraham bought with the field for possession of a burying place of Ephraim the Hittite before Mamre. And Joseph returned into Egypt, he and his brethren, and all that he went up with him to bury his father, after he had buried his father. And when Joseph's brethren saw that their father was dead, verse 14, and Joseph returned into Egypt, he and his brethren, and all that went up with him to bury his father after he had buried his father. So now Jacob is buried. Right? Marks the end of that. Something will happen here. Because one day these people will leave Egypt. And traditionally, Joseph will request to be buried the same place. So let's see. Verse 15. And when Joseph's brethren saw that their father was dead, they said, Joseph will peradventure hate us, and will certainly requite us all the evil which we did unto him. The guilt is biting these people, and fear also. And they sent a messenger unto Joseph, saying, Thy father did command before he died, saying. They even sent a messenger. They didn't even go personally themselves. So shall ye say unto Joseph, Forgive, I pray thee now, the trespass of thy brethren, and their sin, for they did unto thee evil. And now we pray thee, forgive the trespass of the servants of the God of thy father. And Joseph wept when they spake unto him. Very sad. And his brethren also went and fell down before his face, and they said, Behold, we be thy servants. They could now near him so far as he is now emotional. And Joseph said unto them, Fear not, for am I in the place of God. This is the most important character of Joseph. No matter what, he doesn't take the place of God. He remains humble because he knows who God is. He knows what is in him, and he knows if he does A, C, B, C, D, God might leave him. Okay? He knows, and God knows. Very interesting. But as for you, verse 20, but as for you, ye thought evil against me, but God meant it unto good, to bring to pass as it is this day, to save much people alive. All right? To save much people alive. Now therefore fear ye not, I will nourish you and your little ones. And he comforted them and spake kindly unto them. This is what I meant when I was talking about trusting your inheritance to these kinds of people. They will take care of the rest. It just happened in verse 21. Verse 22. And Joseph dwelt in Egypt, he and his father's house. Okay. And Joseph lived 110 years. And Joseph saw Ephraim's children of the third generation. The children also of Machir, the son of Manasseh, were brought up upon Joseph's knees. Now Joseph is the leader of the clan, just like Jacob or Israel. And Joseph said unto his children, I die, and God will surely visit you and bring you out of this land, unto the land which ye swear to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, And Joseph took an oath of the children of Israel, saying, God will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones from hence. The death of Joseph, which is in verse 26. So Joseph died, being 110 years old, and they embalmed him, and he was put in a coffin in Egypt. That marks the end of the book of Genesis.